Good morning, guys and gals. How many of you guys have a basement or a garage that looks like this that can be converted into living space? I was called in to take a look at this, and the folks who own the house, they said, "Hey, Kirk, what do you think about these humongous cracks? And is there a way to correct all this?" And I said, "Absolutely. We skim coat walls like this. We've done about 50. And first thing you do is I walk through here, and then I saw this guy here, and I said, "That's a structural crack." And she says, "Well, how do you know?" And I said, "Well, I can see by the stairs right there that used to go up that something else was built here." And she says, "Right on the money." I said, "That's really not important." And people say, "Well, should we caulk that, or should we pump in some stucco, or should we use this or that?" Not necessary. What we'll do is, first thing, okay, let me show you before I talk about products. What we're going to do today is we're going to get all the loose stuff off. And right now, this is pretty structural sound. I mean, for a 100-year-old house, this is great. No indications of mold where water might be entering. So what we're going to do here is, well, I'm going to wet everything first before we get started. Why? Because I don't want to inhale all this dust. I'm going to wet it with just a water hose, and then we're going to remove everything. Then I'm going to pressure wash it. And guys, if you're going to do something like this, these gas-powered pressure washers are the way to go because it's like 3,400 psi. And you need that to etch. You got to etch this concrete, meaning score it. Make it so that the next coat of new stucco will adhere. That way you don't have to use a bonding agent. Can you use a bonding agent? Absolutely. But what they have going on here, I'll show you just quickly. Now, all of this is kind of loose. Can you see that, how it's coming off? See all that dust? Nothing adheres to dust, guys. Nothing. No caulkings, no paints, nothing. Over here, it's like brand new. This is brand new. It's just 100 years of dust. So, again, what we're going to do is, it's kind of low here. We're going to wet everything with a water hose. And that way we could use shovels, cat's paws, hammers, and get all the loose stuff off. I see an area here. Oh, I take it back. There's some efflorescence right here. That just could mean a couple things. Waters did get in on this corner. Salt in the sand or concrete will do that too. Anyway, we got this here. I can see that's got to go. And what we want to do is we want to get anything loose off. Why? Because we remove all the loose stuff, which is not a big deal. The second or the first coat of stucco will adhere by suction, meaning this is cement, it's concrete. Concrete is porous. New stucco is porous. We hydrate this, or we wet it. That hydrate is just a fancy word for wet it down. So if we clean this and pressure wash, tomorrow when we come back to apply the coat of stucco, it will adhere to this by suction. It's called a mechanical bond, and it is stronger than, say, Weldcrete or any bonding agent to use on here. It's a mechanical bond. One is porous, and the stucco is obviously wet, and they just adhere like, and they just suck together, and they last forever. Those two do not separate, so it's actually stronger if you can get all the dust, dirt, grime, moss, and all that crap off. And we are prepared to do that because we've done this 30, 40 times, and we know what tools to use. We're going to get started. We're going to wet all this stuff. Then we're going to scrape it all down. Then I got shop backs. With a shop vac, guys, you take the filter off and just anything small, just go ahead and this right here is not going to fit in a shop vac. So what we want to do is remove anything loose. And like when we come tomorrow, since there'll be so much water here, there'll be some more of that. It's kind of loosening. Just like when you pressure wash painted house, the next day you come and you got some stuff that's hiding, but the water will loosen it. So if we come back tomorrow and we see some stuff that was hidden like a sock in a dryer, we just remove that too. Remove all the dust, and there's a lot of tools you can use, guys. You can use 100 tools to get this off. I find shovels are just the best thing to remove all the loose stuff. So that's what we're going to do. When we get to that stage, we'll show you how to plaster it.
All right, guys, so you can see the completion behind me. This may not be the best angle to show it, but what I wanted to say before this video ends is that this last few months we haven't had a lot of content, but I'm hoping to change it. And one way you can check us out and get more content is to check out an Instagram page I just made for us called Giordano Plastering. So if you have Instagram, you go at Giordano Plastering. I'll be doing a lot more story posts and quick, easy to digest, easy to watch content over the next year of our projects, because I want to supplement this stuff. So please, if you're interested, go check out the Instagram at Giordano Plastering.
Here's another tip, guys. This redwood around the whole perimeter. Where's all this dust going? I don't want to inhale it. And I got masks in the truck, but just for the sake of telling you guys, use your jet stream. Get everything out first. And clear everything by wetting the wood here. Or say like there's a big wall here. I wet this whole wall. My brother Lou over there. But anyhow, this is what we like to do. I'm cleaning everything. I'm getting rid of the dust so that the dust's in the air, just like washing a car. You go have your car washed. They used to have wet blankets to get all the dust out of the air. But today they got fancier stuff. But for me, I don't want to wear a mask and I don't want to inhale this. So I'm wetting everything even before we begin to start breaking off and removing stuff. So that's a tip, guys. Either go invest in a real fancy dust mask or do what I'm doing right now. And I've been doing this a long time, and I don't like to inhale this stuff, but then again, I don't like to wear a mask. So I'm wetting everything. That way any dust that's being removed is sticking to the walls. And check out these tiers, man. Those are built well. I mean, I'm not doing these, but I'm wetting them just so that the dust in the air will adhere to it and not go down in my lungs. Okay, guys, I'm going to mention a couple more things. Can you just use a water hose and a wire brush? Yes, but you'll be here for 8 hours and a lot of elbow grease. Why am I wearing ski pants? Well, you hit a corner and it goes everywhere. Waterproof boots. And what I said earlier about I don't wear a mask, there's a reason for that. They annoy the crap out of me. But like my metal teacher used to say, when I first started the class, he said, guys, I'm going to live 5 to 10 years young, or I'm going to last 5 to 10 years less than my lifespan suggests because I'm working in here. And I thought, are you nuts? But he did it anyway. So when I say I don't wear a mask, you guys wear a mask. Anyway, what we got here is, and by the way, too, Jason had the pressure washer in here. If you're going to do this, guys, use a pressure washer with gas. It has a lot more power, almost double. The ones with electricity, 1600 psi, we had that with this hose, almost 1600. So now that we did that preliminary stuff, I've got a turbo tip on here. This tip is about 30 bucks, and there's 3,000 pounds already. So what this does is it removes all the dust, dirt, and grime. Why? Nothing adheres to dust, dirt, and grime. Not caulking, not plaster, not glue. Nothing adheres to it, guys. So this is all we're doing. We're going by, and all of the lube, the big stuff, we put the big stuff in a shovel. Or we put it in a shovel and then we throw it away. And the small stuff, we have 2 shop vacs here to get all the small stuff, because sometimes the dust or the rocks get lost. So the shop vac cleans up all the areas where it's going to form, like right there. We got a puddle there. That's about 3 gallons, so that's where the shop vac comes in handy. Anyhow, guys, we're going to go ahead and clean this up, And when we come back to plaster it tomorrow, we'll show you the cements. I'll talk about cements and stuff because it's a complicated thing. You got to know your materials. Anyway, we'll see you then. Okay, guys, we're still here. Quick tip. Do you have to plaster this prior to coming to do the actual skim coat? A skim coat is usually a ½ inch over concrete block, cinder block, bricks, any of that stuff. No, we're going to be using the same day. It's called Eisenwall. Eisenwall is pretty strong stuff. It's 3 times stronger than this concrete. It's concrete is usually, well, 2 times stronger. Concrete is usually 3,000 psi to 3,500 psi. That's strong stuff. But it's made with rocks and Portland cement. Our stucco is made with Portland cement and sand. So to say one of our products is stronger if they're the same strength is not really true because of the rocks makes this stronger. Anyway, my brother Lou had nothing to do. I said, dude, mix me up a little bit of mud and I'll show you guys. You could do this prior. I just got nothing to do. And skim it, but if you skim it, you got to scratch it. So I'm going to put some scratch lines in here also. And another thing too, guys, about the pressure washing. The pressure washing, if you use an electric one, they're not very strong. The gas ones are much, much stronger. How strong does it need to be? I'll give you an example. My daughter Malin, we had a big piece of area we were pressure washing. She just said, Dad, can I do that? I said, sure, baby, here. Help knock yourself out. It is kind of fun pressure washing. And I said, don't touch it. And I hit my boot with it. And you can see what it did to my boot. It took some of the skin off the boot. And about a half hour later, she's like, Dad, hey, have you got any Band-Aids? I said, you touched it, huh, baby? So you don't need a super strong pressure washer, but if it's gas, you're usually okay. And if you put a turbo tip, you're even much better. Anyway, this is done right here. And notice I did not use a bonding agent because a bonding agent is not necessary, guys. We just pressure wash this. So the two combine, and it's called, in plaster term, a mechanical bond. When stucco that's wet goes over a wet surface, they're stuck together permanently. Okay, guys, we are back, and I'm going to point out a couple things since we're showing how to do this. This is how I do it, guys. I've been doing it for 40 years. Okay, now that we've pressure washed the foundation yesterday and cleaned it all up, got rid of all the dust, dirt, moss, and grime, I'm going to hydrate it. Hydrate's a fancy word for mist it. How much water do you guys need when you're about to spread stucco over concrete or cinder block or bricks? Depends. Depends on the day, the heat. If it's late afternoon, 4 o'clock, sun's been on that wall all day, as fast as you do what I'm doing, it's going to dry. But this is underground, in the basement. It's not really hot today. It's beautiful. So hydration just means with a mechanical bond is you want to wet the wall, and what's the right amount, guys? Girls, what's the right amount? The right amount is if it's just dripping wet, don't put your stucco on it because then the stucco won't get a great adhesion. But if it's too dry, this wet stucco is going to hit this dry concrete, suck the moisture right out, and it'll be brittle. You'll hear it knock like 2 spoons. You'll hear that noise. So you want it. This is a good mechanical bond. Mechanical bond, again, is porous. They adhere by suction. Can I put any bonding agent, including Wellcrete? Sure, I could. And sometimes I do, but that's when I'm not sure of a wall. If it has dust, you could put some a bonding agent on it after it's still clean. Nothing will adhere to dust. Anyway, we've been messing around here, setting up, and I lost a bit of time. So I want to show you guys, generally, even these big cracks like this, what I'll do is I'll start from the left side and go right because I'm right-handed. And so something like this, I'm going to put it like that. And guys, girls, I have to say that because we have a lot of girls watching us, and they say, Kirk, how come you always say guys and never refer to us girls who do the same thing? Well, my daughter does this too. Okay, ladies, when you apply it, what I'm doing is I just kind of lift and tilt. Okay, then what I do is I'll tilt the hawk and turn it. Apply it, and see how I squeeze a little bit over? That's for the edge. I take the rest off. As a rule, the way I do it is 2 to 3 swipes per hawk. Or you can get fancy and people say, hey, you're not using the right tool. Guys, I can use a square trowel. I can put a lot more on with this big trowel. And people say, well, you're not taking it off the top. It doesn't make sense, guys, to do this and put it on, spin it, do this and put it on, do this and put it on. That's a waste of time. We don't have time for that stuff. We just 2 to 3 and we're done. And it's a much easier system for the average homeowner or do-it-yourselfer to learn this system. Okay, so I just applied that. Now, remember, I put that slobber on the top for a reason. Okay, now I'm just taking my trowel, coming down, putting it on the top, getting it to make a so-called lip, because a lot of this has that so-called lip. And for those of you who say, hey, you got to go from left to right, no, you don't. You can go any which way. You could start anywhere you want. Okay, so going right to left now. It's not a real comfortable move, but you just notice. Okay. What's a thickness, guys? With a skim coat, a thickness is a 1/2 inch or more. That way, with cinder block bricks or this, you don't see the grout lines when it dries. However, this has no grout lines, but I want to make sure it does 2 things. I want it to be strong, get situated here, and tight. Okay, so here I'm getting that top again. And right here where my so-called pull trowel doesn't do well, I sometimes just take it at an angle here, and I could actually fill this bottom with this pull trowel because this pull trowel is straight right here. People, I'll go into this because a lot of people call me and say, Kirk, you don't know what you're doing because you're using the wrong trowel. It doesn't matter what trowel you guys use. I would suggest use the one that is in my back right pocket because I wouldn't say it's easier, guys, but it's a square trowel and they're much more common. And we're going to float this. And what does float mean? I asked the people here, what do you want? What kind of finish? And they said, we want it to look sandy. Okay, so we use a green or a yellow float. I like these Killer Bee floats, these yellow guys for what we do. And this has to set, guys, girls, for about 15 to 20 minutes because I'm using the same day scratch and brown, even though it's not necessary. You could use Saccrete, you could use all the products at Home Depot to get your base coat on. And this, when I say base coat, I mean base, middle, and final, not just, there's not another coat going over this, guys. We're getting back to the pressure washing thing. How do you know when you got enough off? You know when you got enough off when you take common sense, your trowel, and tap it. I mean, if you tap something and it feels hollow, you don't have that enough off. So you got to take that off too to where it's solid. So, and pressure washing. I mean, yeah, we pressure washed this yesterday. How do you know when a pressure washer can remove the whole thing? But a pressure washer can remove the whole thing, but And we did a job where I told them pressure wash it. They went all the way through the foundation. In fact, that video, well, we done it like 5 years ago, we put 6 inches of Eisenwall stucco on it. What's Eisenwall? It's only sold at the material yards because it's a complicated system where mixing-wise, you cannot go over 3 to 5 minutes. Home Depot sells rapid set, which is Eisenwall in a sense, because rapid set makes both Eisenwall and rapid set. The one they sell is this stuff here. All you do, guys, is add water. If you want little bitty patches, they got 10-pound boxes, 100-pound bags, 94 technically. But this stuff here is rapid set. Okay, guys, moving back over here. Same thing. It doesn't change. You put it on, see that? And then you squeeze it over the top a little bit. If you can't squeeze it over the top, or you say, man, I don't have that kind of control of the tools, you can just do this right here, throw it on. It takes a lot longer, but there's another way to do it. We just do this. My brother Lou, he's mixing. It's called tending plasterers. I used to be a plaster tender years ago. It's keeps you in good shape. The only drag is it's a dusty job. You see how that's going, guys? I mean, you just boom. It's not rocket science, but it does take control. You have to have some kind of eye coordination. Sheetrockers, tapers, they're great at this stuff because they already have the control. You guys, you'll do it and you'll say, how's he doing that? Well, this hand is hitting the bottom. Then it's pulling up. Then it's pushing down. Same thing. Put down, squish it, then pull up. Then pull up. And that way it gives you that top, and then you just come down on it right there. And again, this has got to set before we put the texture in it. And the texture in it, that just means I'm going to bring some of the sand out. Again, it's a sand finish, what we're doing here. And you might have seen these pads. These umpire pads beat regular pads any day because there's 5 straps, so they don't hurt. You ever wear knee pads and all the time they're cutting your circulation off. These don't do it. In fact, I've driven home with them thinking, dang, what am I doing still with those knee pads on? Anyhow, we're going to go ahead and finish probably this whole thing, and I'll show you how we float it at the very end. I'll save a wall. And when I say I save a wall, I'll save just enough to show you guys how we finish it off.
And hey, if you guys are watching closely, you might have seen this camera shake a few times. How many times have I hit my head on these joists?
Well, look at this.
Too many times.
Look at this. I almost knocked myself out the other day on a pipe. Okay, my head is way in here, and I stood up, and I thought, nope, I was in between a beam and hit a pipe over there. Knocked me to my knees. Anyway, fun stuff. Okay, guys, we're at the stage where everything is applied. Now what we're doing is we're floating it. What's a float? This is called a sponge float. We got hard rubber floats, polyurethane floats, a lot of floats. Everything does something different. Anyway, this sponge float, what it does is it brings out the sand or aggregate. Okay, you see it's kind of smooth, and I know what we're trying to achieve. She wanted a float finish. It doesn't have to be super pretty, otherwise, I mean, I don't have to rod or derby this true and plumb within a 1/16 of an inch. So, giving her what she wants, and she wants a float finish. So, it's called float finish because this is a float, and that's what we're finishing, but most homeowners recognize it as a sand finish. So, in the past, I've not included that, and many people say, what do you mean, man? Oh no, a worm. These worms make the ground good. They hate this Portland cement. It's got something in it that just kills them. Anyway, this is called Killer Bee float. Why, I don't know. But I like them. They're yellow, and they're just a little higher quality than the green. And by the way, the same company sells both. Killer Bee floats. Killer. Bees is, you think B-E-E? B-E-E-Z. Anyway, we're floating now. And you can see, here's what I do, guys. Okay, I don't want to leave the wood ugly, so I just clean my float. I'll start from here. And I'm cleaning the wood by straightening the stucco. Now I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to clean the wood and straighten the stucco at the same time. Now, to get a strengthful edge, I'm going to come down on it with, get some comments on that. I do it again. Get all the water off the float. We want to clean the wood. Boom, that way, this way, and we just put water on it. The water strengthens it. Now we go down on it this way to strengthen that edge. That way we have a real strong edge. A little bit of water really makes a big, big difference. And guys, people ask, hey, what kind of cements you use? Name it. Like in the movie Rambo, he says, what do you do with a knife? What do you kill with a knife like this? He says, name it. The same with us. Name a cement, we use it. As a rule, I use Hansen's Lehigh Premium because it's got lime and everything in it. And we add our own sand. My brother Lou out there will put, say, for every part of stucco, say we're doing a scratch coat. We go 3 to 1. We're doing a brown coat, we can go 4 to 1. What the heck does that mean? That means for every bucket full of cement plaster, you add 3 buckets of sand. What we do when we're mixing, because all of our materials for the last 35, 40 years, guys, have been, we buy the bags, we add 3 times the sand or 4 times, depending on what we're doing. We do not buy products that are already made, and this one's not already made. This product is, you just add water. You don't have to worry about the sand. But don't overmix any same day, what's this say? Patch and paint in 2 hours. Don't overmix any same day products, same scratching brown products. They call them different names. Just don't overmix them because it will jack up the integrity of the strength. So don't do that. Anyway, back to what I'm saying here. I'm going to clean the wood this way, clean it that way. That allows water to drip on it, and then I'm going to come down on it like this to even strengthen it further. And we're bringing out that aggregate, bringing out the sand. So there it is like that. And this sand finish goes with everything, guys. Okay, back to materials. There's a whole lot of them, guys. You can go to Home Depot, and there's like 10 different brands of cement plasters. You could use any of them, but you got to put 3 times the amount of sand for every 1 bag. How does Lou do it? We mix the whole mixer full. He doesn't count shovels. He'll put 2 bags in there to start, or 3, and then he'll know by eyeball when he has enough. He just look at it and say, hey, that's enough. But for you folks who don't know, you can put 12 to 15 shovels, or 12 to 15 scoops and 20 shovels. And what is a scoop? It's like one of those big snow shovels. It's huge. So Lou he doesn't like repetition, so he likes to use the big snow shovels. So he'll add 12 of those, or if he's using a regular shovel, you just use like 20 shovelfuls. So we don't usually buy the same day. Oh, screw that up. Okay, yeah. No, we won't. Oh, yeah, okay. Anyway, guys, I can go on all day about materials with all that time in, so I don't want to confuse the matter more than I've already done. You might say, oops, too late. But what I'm going to do here is I'm giving you an idea of what you can and You never know, man. You might say, hey, my kids want to move downstairs and fix it up for whatever reason, or get rid of somebody. Hey, you're downstairs now. I'll leave it at this. You can see what I've done here. It's going to be done all over the area. Does the camera get a good look at that? I'm afraid to lift my head. Okay, so that's called a sand finish, guys. I mean, I'm going to still touch it up a little bit, but you can see we still got all the rest of this to go, to float it. How long can this set? This can set for another half hour. We can have lunch and still float it. But I want to give you guys an idea of what we're doing because it's lunchtime anyway. Anyhow, my name is Kirk, Jason on the camera. We thank you guys for watching, and as usual, we'll see you guys on the next one.
By the way, folks, my dad and I are now members of Amazon affiliates, so if you're looking to buy any of the plastering or construction tools you've seen in our videos and you want to support us in the process, you can check the links below our video, or you can go to our website and get them there. If you have any other questions for tools we don't have linked, email us direct and we'll respond to you then.
Once again, folks, we thank you for watching, and I really enjoy all your comments.
If you guys like this video, please click the like button down below, and also if you enjoy what we do, subscribe to our channel so we can keep making these videos for you.
My name is Kirk.
And Jay.
We thank you for watching, and from the entire Giordano family, we'll see you on the next one.